Dr. Angrist.
Good afternoon.
Appreciated you giving your testimony a few minutes ago, and I'd like to ask a few follow-up questions if I could.
All right.
Just so the jury has no misunderstanding, I'd like to speak or ask a few questions, just a little bit about your arrangements for being here. You did testify that your arrangement for fees and everything is with Mr. Ramirez's attorney in their office, correct?
That is correct.
And so they're the ones paying you.
Yes.
And you're sure that your fee has no relationship to the outcome of this case?
No, it does not.
Okay. Let me ask a few questions about your direct testimony. You indicated that the entry wound from the bullet was fairly jagged around the edge.
That is correct.
And what did you say that indicated?
That indicates that Mr. Ramirez was moving at the time the bullet entered his body.
When you say he's moving, are you able to tell whether he was moving up or down, side to side, based on what you observed?
No, I'm not able to.
So it is possible that Mr. Ramirez wasn't necessarily getting off the ground, but could have been moving side to side as he was struggling with Mr. Levy?
It is possible, although I have not heard testimony to the contrary at this point.
Okay, but it is possible.
Yes.
Okay. Another question. Could you repeat how you described the travel path of the bullet as it entered Mr. Ramirez?
The bullet entered in through the back of the right shoulder and traveled at a downward trajectory through the lung before piercing his pericardium.
Okay. Your testimony is that the bullet entered and traveled in a downward fashion.
That is correct.
Did the bullet hit any bone structure or anything as it entered Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, I believe the medical report said that it hit his scapula before continuing down to his heart.
And at that point, did the bullet fragment?
I don't know exactly where the bullet fragmented. You would have to consult the doctors who actually removed the bullet.
Okay. Is it possible that the bullet, upon hitting the scapula, altered its course or travel direction and then went downward from that point and ended up where it did?
It could have altered it slightly, but not to the degree of severity that the downward angle is in Mr. Ramirez.
Okay, so that upon the bullet striking the scapula, it could have changed the trajectory somewhat.
Very slightly, yes.
And so you're sure it could only change the path of that bullet traveled very slightly?
At the severity of the downward angle that where the bullet came to rest in Mr. Ramirez's heart, it is very unlikely that it could have changed that dramatically.
Dr. Angrist, I have one last question for you.
All right.
Are you a ballistics expert?
No, but I do go hunting elk every other weekend.
Thank you. No further questions.